Welcome to the farm.
Welcome to the farm. I'm Justin, and we have new baby egg layers coming within the next couple days. So we need to get our old duck coop or our brooder coop set up and ready for them.
First thing I need to do is clean out this coop. It's still all full of the shavings from when we brooded our turkeys in there in early summer. We always plan on cleaning it out right away, and we're going to get on it this year. We're going to do it. We're going to get it clean, and for some reason we always get busy and it never happens until we need it, and then we end up cleaning it out again. So hopefully next time after these chickens are out, we'll get right on it and clean it right away. Now that we got all the old bedding and turkey poop out of the brooder, we can go ahead and add new bedding and get ready for chicken poop. So for our brooder bedding, we use a large pine flake. And we've seen at Tractor Supply that they have two different styles. They have the large pine flake that we use, and they also have like a fine pine flake, which is more like a sawdust almost. And from the research we've done, you really don't want to use the pine sawdust, because the chickens will end up eating that, thinking it's feed, and they'll end up clogging up their crop because they don't have enough grit and not getting the nutrition and feed they really need. So we always use the large flake. It's been working really great for us. Normally I would just take one of these bales, spread that out, and that would be our layer. But since we're coming into winter, I'm going to use 2 bales right off the bat and put a nice thick layer down for an insulation. Because when you first get your chickens, they need a lot of warmth. They need to be at like 90 degrees, I believe it is. And then each week they require less and less heat. So we want to get as much insulation as we can coming into winter just to keep these little baby chicks warm. Now that we got the new bedding down, we need to get the heat source set up for our chicks. And we like to use these heat plates versus a heat lamp. We've heard a lot of horror stories about heat lamps exploding and burning brooders and coops, and this just seemed like a safer option to us. And what you need to do is you need to set these plates low enough so that when the chicks go underneath, they can actually touch the plate with their back, and that keeps them really warm. As they require less heat, you raise the plate and give them more space. And what I'm going to do, because it's going to be so cold for these guys when they first get here, is I'm actually kind of leaving some shavings around the edge of the plates to kind of insulate it, and I'm leaving the front open so they can get in and out at the front, hoping to keep these guys a little bit warmer. While I'm out here getting the brooder ready for chicks in winter, I'm going to go ahead and get some other things done for the animals for winter. And I'm going to start by doing the water insulator for Cadence's egg layers. Basically what it is an insulated wood box that I made, and then we take the bowl full of warm water, put that in the insulated box, and that helps keep it from freezing really quickly. And it seems to work pretty well. The water still freezes, but usually it's just the top layer, then we break it out of the bucket, put the bucket back in, fill it back up, and then it's good to go for a few hours. My next task is to get the venting closed up on the coop and the brooder. We have a lot of venting built in because the animals need a lot of air movement and venting, especially in the summer. But in the winter here, I want to try to keep some of the draft off of them. They'll still have plenty of venting through all the little cracks and stuff that are inherent in the coop, but I don't want wind gusting in and snow blowing in through these openings on top. So basically all I do is take pieces of plywood I have cut to the proper sizes, screw them over the open venting, and that should close them up enough to keep these animals at least a little bit warmer in winter. So we don't provide any artificial heat source for our mature chickens. What we end up doing during the winter is we do what's called the deep litter method. So instead of cleaning out the coop every couple weeks like we would do during the summer, we actually just add new straw or bedding in the coop on top of the old stuff. And then as the old stuff kind of starts decomposing a little bit in there, it generates heat and will help keep the chickens warm inside that coop. Plus they really have a lot of fun, and it'll work out mixing all that stuff up, keeping them warm as well. And now I can move on to the last task of the day, which is getting the pig water ready for winter. This will be the first time we've ever wintered pigs. The last set of pigs we had a shorter grow period, so we got them in early spring and then we processed them in late fall. The breed we have now, the Kuni Kuni, take a little bit longer to grow, so we won't be processing them until spring. So we have to winter them. Thankfully, the Kuni Kunis are a pretty hardy breed and good in cold climates. So we're not too worried about the pigs, but it creates other issues like keeping the water from freezing so they can drink. So the way we're going to attempt to keep the water from freezing is we're going to use a stock tank heater. And this particular one says it's good for poly stock tanks, which is what we have. Unfortunately, we weren't able to move the pigs closer to the barn, which we were hoping to do before winter. But the ground's already starting to freeze up, and trying to get the fire posts and move the fencing just isn't going to happen this year. Thankfully, we already have an extension cord ran all the way out from the barn for the electric fence, so hopefully we can just tap into that for the power.
All right, well, I think that'll do it for now. We will catch back up with you once our chicks come in a couple days and get them in their new house.
So the chicks actually arrived a few days later than what we were told, which was fine. It just happened to be that I was working that day. So by the time I got out to the feed store, picked up the chicks, got back home to introduce them to the brooder, it was already too dark to record, so I didn't get any footage of introducing them to the brooder, dipping their beaks in the water, giving them feed, any of that kind of stuff. But this is about a week later. The chicks are doing really good. We lost one the first night and one the second day. And ever since then, they've been doing great. We've actually had them for about 3 weeks now. They're feathering out nice and looking real good. So, high hopes for these chickens. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.